Look, I'm going to be completely honest about this. I thought what Wizards owner Sheila Johnson said about Caitlin Clark came off as racist. Sheila Johnson is the black billionaire owner of the NHL's Washington Capitals, the NBA's Washington Wizards, and the WNBA's Washington Mystics. Johnson said she did not agree with Time magazine making Caitlin Clark the first ever WNBA player to be Athlete of the Year, and with putting Caitlin Clark on the cover. Johnson said the entire WNBA should have been chosen as the League of the Year and that numerous stars should have been put on the cover. She said the WNBA has a long legacy of black stars and that, and I quote, "Something clicked with the WNBA last year because of the draft. It's not just Caitlin Clark, it's Reese," as in, of course, Chicago's Angel Reese. Johnson said, and I quote, "There's so much talent out there that's unrecognized, and I don't think we can pin it on just one player. When you single out one, it creates hard feelings," end of quote. Johnson said, "What's been happening to black players on social media," and I quote, "has got to stop," in that, and I quote again, "this division of racism is going to tear us apart," end quote. Okay, now allow me to tell you how I interpret everything Sheila Johnson said about Caitlin Clark. Johnson is saying to me, the majority of WNBA players are black and have always been black, that basketball belongs more to black players than to white, and that it's not healthy for the league to have a white player featured as Athlete of the Year on the cover of Time. Now, I'm pretty sure if WNBA MVP A'ja Wilson had made the cover of Time as Athlete of the Year, Johnson wouldn't have had any problem with that, just not the white girl. Well, that skinny white girl was the best thing that ever happened to the WNBA. She's already the most exciting and entertaining player in the league, the entire league, the one you can't take your eyes off of. She led the league in assists by 20. By 20! She was second in the league in free throw shooting at 91%. And of course, she led the league in logo threes made, in part because she surely attempted the most very deep threes. No female player has ever been able to jump shoot from such distance or even tried to. Caitlin Clark's long-distance threes became the most exciting shot in the WNBA. Her spectacular passes became the most exciting plays in the WNBA. Now, yes, she shattered the WNBA's record for turnovers because she would try to pull off passes that were all but impossible. But at least, I don't know, once or twice a game, sometimes 3 or 4 times a game, she did pull off the near impossible. Yet she accomplished all of the above while occasionally being bullied and cheap-shotted by veteran players who clearly were jealous and resentful of the publicity she was generating, not just generating about her, but for the league. Yet not once did Caitlin Clark complain about the bullying or the cheap-shotting. Not once did she say anything but the right thing about how black stars had built this league. Caitlin Clark just kept playing, kept getting better and better and better. An Indiana team that had gone 13-27 the year before she was drafted, of course, won 7 of its last 11 last season as Caitlin Clark actually rose from just the obvious Rookie of the Year into the MVP discussion as a rookie. Yet here was her greatest achievement. The biggest reason she was chosen Athlete of the Year by Time: Caitlin Clark lifted the WNBA into the national consciousness, made it a thing for the first time. People everywhere were talking about the WNBA in ways they never did before. White people, black people, all kinds of people were talking about and watching women's basketball. The skinny white girl detonated all that. Yes, she brought a lot more white people through the turnstiles, but surely Sheila Johnson doesn't care what color her customers are, does she? You ready for the ultimate irony about what Sheila Johnson said about Caitlin Clark? Last season, for Caitlin Clark's 2 visits to Washington, the Mystics moved the games from their little home arena, which seats a little under 5,000, to the Wizards arena, which officially seats 20,356. And thanks to Caitlin Clark, Sheila Johnson's Mystics drew the WNBA's biggest crowd of the year and the WNBA's 3rd biggest crowd of the year. Somehow, the Mystics shoehorned in 20,711 for one Caitlin visit and 20,333 for the other one. So the Mystics went from about 5,000, averaging about 5,000 for all their other home games, to an average of 20,500 for the 2 Caitlin visits. What? I mean, Sheila Johnson should, I don't know, at least send Caitlin some flowers, because she never gives her any flowers in interviews for sure. But no way should Caitlin Clark and Caitlin Clark alone be on the cover of Time, or so Sheila indicated. And I say baloney to that. Sheila Johnson and every WNBA star should thank God every morning and every night for Caitlin Clark. Now, to Sheila Johnson's point about Angel Reese, yes, Angel also had all-time rookie impact, but a little more off the court than on it. Angel has far more social media and interview charisma than Caitlin does. Caitlin has a nice but pretty boring off-court persona, in part because Caitlin tries so hard to avoid the slightest shred of controversy. Angel did lead the league in rebounds per game. That is quite a feat for a rookie, but I'm not sure anyone buys a ticket to watch rebounding. Meanwhile, Angel, a post player, shooting very close to the basket, managed to shoot only 39% from the floor, which ranked 50th of 55 qualified shooters. That definitely will not sell. Caitlin Clark sells, albeit to lots of new white fans. And I have no doubt some of those new white fans have some anti-black feelings, or maybe even they're just flat out racist. Yet Caitlin Clark did not encourage or influence them to be that way by anything she ever said or did. And I'll say this for the, 9th or 10th time. The WNBA's black stars need to quit reading what a few nobodies say about them in social media comments. Yes, yes, yes. There are white racists on social media, but it's not fair that every time a black star reads, 2 or 3 racist comments from nobodies, the inference is always that Caitlin Clark caused this. No. All she caused was attention and drawing power that the WNBA did not have before she arrived. She did this as a minority member of the league, as a white player in a league that is majority black. I have publicly acknowledged again and again for many years that black men and black women are generally better at basketball. Duh. And that has certainly never bothered me one bit as a white guy and a basketball fanatic. Just give me the very best players playing at the highest levels, regardless of color. I don't care. The men's game hasn't had a white American player anywhere close to Larry Bird since Larry Bird. But in this case, now the most exciting and entertaining player in women's basketball happens to be white. She deserved Time's Athlete of the Year because she earned it. But apparently Sheila Johnson believes the WNBA ultimately belongs only to black stars, that in the end, it's a black sport, and that the face of the league cannot be white. To me, that's flat out racist. To me, the one who is deepening the division of racism that could tear this league apart is Sheila Johnson.